Fresh from the showcase here at SwissWatchExpo, today we have a beautiful all-ceramic chronograph to share with you, so let's check it out. This super fresh new arrival that I'm excited to share with you today is a Tudor Fastrider Black Shield, which is a pretty unique entry into their line of watches. It was originally, the Fastrider line was a collaboration between Tudor and Ducati, I believe, to make a super sporty type of chronograph with a lot of flair involved. And this is definitely what this watch has. It's been discontinued, pretty short production run of less than 10 years. That's across the entire Fastrider line. And I think the most interesting offering they have ever given is this beautiful all ceramic black shield with an incredible ceramic bezel, case, and dial. And this one's on a super unique strap too. Just the first thing about this watch, most people associate Tudor with being the quote-unquote baby Rolex brand, and there is a lot of truth to that in the history of the brand and in a lot of the watches they make. But you will notice the Fastrider is certainly where they come into their own. This watch has absolutely nothing in common with a Rolex Daytona. So this is definitely a very unique watch and something that is very intrinsically Tudor, not anything that I think they got a whole lot of inspiration from Rolex on, at least not compared to a lot of their other models like dive watches and such. But let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing you'll notice is this watch is all black. Everything except the hands and the markers, but I've noticed that the markings on the subdial are also black ceramic. So this is a beautiful looking black matte finish, which if you love that, I certainly do. I love the way it looks on luxury cars, and I love the way it looks on this watch as well. Something about this sort of collaboration between Ducati and Tudor with the Fastrider is this is definitely a style over substance watch. This is not something that's going to be super effective at actually, I don't know, reading times on the fly if you were actually timing race cars around the track. But this is definitely keeping with sort of the monotone look, and they do make versions in all black, including the hands and markers. That's if you really just want a cool piece of black ceramic on your wrist. But at least this one is going to be very effective at telling time. And I do love the red accent on the sweep chronograph hand here as well. That adds just a bit of a splash of color and makes it a little more sporty because there's something, I don't know, kind of dressy about the black and gold combo of this dial, even though I would not consider this a dress watch by any stretch of the imagination. It's 42 millimeters, so already going to be noticeably larger than a Daytona and heftier on the wrist. Another interesting combination here is what I do like is that this does have the pump pusher, chronograph pushers, which I do think is pretty practical. Even if it's not as waterproof, I definitely think screwing and unscrewing the pushers on the fly can make it a little challenging to actually engage the chronograph. One thing you'll notice is that unlike most chronographs with the pump pushers, this does have a screw down crown. And I did have to look up, this is water resistant to 150 meters, which I think is really more than you would need for most chronographs, especially when this one's on a strap. So I do think that's a sort of an interesting combination that this is still considered waterproof or water resistant at least, even though sort of the crown and pushers have sort of been switched to the way that a lot of other chronograph watches do. One of the things that's particularly interesting about this model is the strap. This is an Alcantara strap, which I had to look it up. I'm not that big into different type of like faux leather finishing, but this is a suede type material, which is supposed to be much easier to clean and a lot more durable than traditional suede, but it is super, super comfortable and is also going to be great for those super hot summer months. I mean, I know we've been steadily cracking 90 here in Atlanta, so definitely would prefer to have a strap like this on my watch than some sort of calf leather. But it is an incredibly neat look. It looks incredibly comfortable, and not just for a great casual look that grows great with this watch as well. Lastly, the deploy-on is also ceramic, which I think is, again, super consistent in keeping with this really great dark sinister look here. And you don't have an exhibition case back or anything like that. They kept it ceramic all the way around the back, which again, I think is great for the consistency of this watch, and it's just a beautiful aesthetic. This is probably going to be a controversial choice, not for everyone, but then again, not everyone has a black ceramic sport watch in their collection. And if that's something you've been tossing around in your head or considering, this is definitely one to go to. It's going to be a much more different look than, say, a Panerai or a lot of other brands that do black ceramic cases and do them very well, but this is a much different look, super modern, super sporty, and still a very casual watch too, even if it's not going to be great for actual racetrack use. Of course, we've got a lot more traditional type of chronograph chronographs and sport watches from a variety of brands. I'm sure you already know that. But if you don't, like and subscribe to the channel, because I assume you haven't. And check out our website. We've got thousands of pieces in stock and ready to go today at SwissWatchExpo.com.